Hey YouTubers, Roland Martin here and welcome to my YouTube channel. You know, I got my new Christmas present. Look at this thing. This, you might not know what it is, but I'll tell you what it is in a minute, and I'm going to install it on my trolling motor. This is the Rite-Hite Turret system. Now what this does, now you have to understand, I'm standing next to my trolling motor, and right now I have the Active Target by Lowrance on my depth finder. And now I can look out there, it's a forward-facing sonar. I can look out there and spot fish, I can spot bait, I can see the humps and stumps and drop-offs out in front of me instead of just underneath me. And so I can scan with this Active Target, I can scan the horizon and I can see the weed lines and I can see the bass out to 120 feet. It's really the modern technology of all bass fishing. It's winning all the tournaments now, up all the smallmouth big venues up on the Great Lakes. That's the number one thing. Okay, so what this does is it's a little different. The regular Active Target system runs on the trolling motor. You notice how it's mounted right here on the trolling motor. And I'll just show you real quick. This system is the normal system. This is the transducer, and it actually doesn't look like it, but it's forward facing because the trolling motor is actually going this way. So this is just set up at the right angle and everything else to look forward and down and out to 100 feet. So that's the way it's set up on the trolling motor. Well, that's fine except for one little issue. You know, when I'm looking for fish, okay, I can take the trolling motor and I can sweep it back and forth. I go this way and I go this way, and finally I see some fish out here, or a stump or a brush pile or whatever the target looks like a good spot to fish. I see it out there to fish, okay, say it's 60 feet away and I know it's right there. Well, now the boat's moving too. So as the boat moves, you have to adjust with the trolling motor, and as you swing the trolling motor back to get it back with the wind and current, you've lost your target. You're not on your target anymore. So you got to swing back and find your target. Then you got to steer the boat. Then you swing it back and find the target. Well, here's what the turret does. The turret's completely independent. What the turret does, and I explain the operation of the turret. There's an arrow right here. There's an arrow on that says "Do not pull," and this whole system is mounted on a stationary deal. This is very stationary now. And what we have is the turret now is mounted on the stationary section of this trolling motor, and this shaft rotates. It's electrically controlled, so this transducer now is on this shaft, and that's what I'm going to mount today. I'm going to mount this transducer on this shaft and mount this all in place. So you have an independent deal. Now you have the transducer solid to the trolling motor, and now the trolling motor itself can go any which way. It can operate this way, that way, this way, and yet you can still lock it on the target that you want, the bass, the stump, the drop off, the brush pile, whatever your target is. You can keep it right on track and right in line with the transducer, and it's make you a perfect cast, and it's just way better. It's what everybody's going to. Hey, Christmas present time. So I'm going to show you how to install it. Let's get started. Okay, my first step now is to remove the transducer from the shaft of the trolling motor that it's on now. Okay, that's been working fine. It really works great, but again, you lose track of your target when you have to steer the trolling motor. So now let's take this off. We'll get it ready to mount on the turret system. Okay, these little Allen screws are going to hold this transducer in place. So let me just undo this, and I'll get that out of the way. The same system will fit on the shaft of the turret. So I just have to take this off. Okay. So now this and this all comes off. I'm going to put it right here for the time being. There's a couple little rubber little sleeves here. I'm just going to put it right there. I'm going to put this screw and the Allen wrench. Put that all right there. Okay, now the next thing is, let's just take the base setup, the whole big setup right here, and we have to attach it to the head of this trolling motor. Now there's big bolts right here. They go in right like this, and I'll have to tighten that one up. Have to tighten this one up. here. Okay, we've kind of mounted this bracket on here, and it's pretty solid. And I've taken the tape off of this, and this is where the active target sonar goes. This is the actual transducer. So it's going to go on the side of this right here. This. I have to figure out how it goes right now. Okay, there. I'll tighten this up right here. Tighten this thing down. It's pretty simple. I'm just going to tighten this down. It's going in there. Okay. Perfect. Look at this. That was real simple. So we eliminated that whole big bracket. That whole big bracket that was on the trolling motor is gone now. And it's just this one little bracket on this one. Okay, so I've got the transducer faced this way. Let's get it in the right position. So now, okay, I'm going to pick up this way. It's got a little offset because see what happens that's so much better with the turret system than with the regular shaft mount is the shaft mount is everything and all the electronics are close to this trolling motor, and it causes a little bit of interference. Now we're way away from the trolling motor, less interference, and it's going to be just a lot cleaner operation. So now we can get this thing in the right position. So now as it turns, remember we're looking off at a 90-degree angle right now. So I think this is the right configuration for everything. I'll find out in a second, but I think it's all set up. It's all set up, ready to go. Now there's two ways. Now that we have the transducer mounted on the shaft of the Rite-Hite, you know, there's two ways to do this cable. This big cable, you could use black electrical tape. That's perfectly all right. But they also have a little deal here that goes around the shaft that holds the cable as well. So I can put that on there and push it on there real hard. If I can do that, like that. Okay, now boom. That's what happened. I just clipped it on there, and that clipped it on the cable. Let me get another one, and I'll put this right over the top of the cable, and I'll clip it on the shaft like that. Boom, boom. And I'll do one more because there's three of them, and I'll clip this on the shaft. Okay, boom. Okay, boom. Now we got a nice installation with the cable coming off the transducer. It's on the other side of the system, and we're ready to go. Okay, the next step is the power of the Rite-Hite. This is an electrical motor here, and there's a big giant cable right here, and this has the foot pedal. Now see, here's the deal. With this foot pedal, I can now adjust it left and right, and I'll have this laying on the floor. And with these cables here, this is actually the power cable. So now I have to go under the console, underneath the front unit, and find a power source that's hot all the time, and hook these two wires up. Okay, folks, what I've done, I've taken this whole big front console apart, and I've come up with the two big wires. These two big wires right here are the ones that control my active target in the first place. But there's already a fuse for the active target. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to come into that same big wire. It's the same big wire, and I'm going to strip this wire down, and I'm going to strip it, and I'm going to attach it to this wire, because this is the wire from the active target. And I'm going to come in with this one, and I'm going to strip it down a little bit farther. And now I'm going to twist these together, and now I'm going to have my turret and my active target all working together. Okay, and I'm going to put this back into this system, this cable, put it into that cable, put this cable into this cable, and now tighten this whole thing up. I'm connected to this wire. I'm going right into this thing here. This is a heat shrink deal, and I'm going to put these two wires together, and then I'm going to crimp them down really good with red right here and right here. Now that's a pretty solid wire. Now with the heat gun, and turn the heat gun on, and compress that down, it really holds together. Okay. Nice and good. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and strip this wire down. And wrap it around the other one. If I get, and there's another wire right here that the other fuse went to, and I'm going to undo it. And I'm going to take these two wires now, and that's going to come through here and here. I'm going to strip this a little bit farther. Okay. Strip these two together. Come through this compression fitting. Now screw this whole thing into this compression fitting right there. What we should have is we should have electric power to this unit. Now to check it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the system on, and I'm going to plug this in right up here. There's a plug right here. I'm just going to plug it in. Okay, I'm going to plug this in. This is just kind of in a test mode. I'll plug it in right here in a second. Okay, it's plugged in. Now that everything's plugged in, theoretically I have power. Theoretically, I have everything ready to go, and what I should be able to do is I should be able to take my foot pedal, and it should turn. Look at that. Look at this thing turning. It's turning just perfect. Look at that. Look, the transducer's turning just like it's supposed to turn. Look at that. Now that's the so remember, the trolling motor's going forward. Okay, now the transducer, for example, it's going forward. So now it's in line with the trolling motor. But now I want to go look at the left bank. I can come all the way around. Look, it comes all the way around this way. Comes all the way around this way. Boom. Right there. Comes all the way around. So now it's going straight ahead of the trolling motor. The trolling motor straight ahead. If I want to go left and look at this left bank or the right bank going down the shoreline, it's going up here. Now the trolling motor's still going straight ahead. So now that's all set up in just the exactly right fashion. Okay, so now all we have to do, we have it all done. The whole thing's together, the whole thing's working. All we have to do is put this console back together again, a few screws. Hey, we're ready to go fishing. So, okay, folks, the next video I'm going to show you is actually out on the water. I'm going to show you how the active target works when I've shown you that, but I'm going to show you how it works with the turret system and how efficient it is, particularly when you're on spot lock, particularly when you're going down a shoreline, particularly when you have an individual target and the wind's blowing from a different direction and you can't keep your trolling motor towards your target. This is the cat's meow, son. The Rite-Hite Turret system for the active target. It's really the way to go. Hey folks, hey, thanks for joining me in this YouTube, and this little installation didn't take long. I'm going to take you out in the water next, so stay tuned. We'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.